This episode of the D-Lew podcast is brought to you by Happy Wrap. You ever wanted to design your very own gift wrapping paper? Now is your chance to do so. Whether it's for the holiday season, weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, no matter what the occasion calls for, you can use Happy Wrap to wrap your gifts. As a matter of fact, you can even design notebooks, greeting cards, gift tags, and so much more. You can sign up today at happy.thedlewpodcast.com and use the promo code DLEW to get your 10% discount at checkout. Again, that's happy.thedlewpodcast.com and use promo code DLEW to get your 10% discount at checkout. By Simpler Hair Color. Hey guys, are you tired of using that drugstore hair dye brand that isn't getting the job done? If you want to use a great product to cover those grays, have no fear, Simpler Hair Color is here. No mixing, no dripping, no mess. It's super easy to use, whether you're a beginner or a pro. Go to simpler.thedlewpodcast.com and use promo code DLEW10 for your 10% discount at checkout. Again, that's simpler.thedlewpodcast.com and use my promo code DLEW10 for your 10% discount at checkout. And by WWE Shop with Fanatics. Get your favorite WWE Superstars merchandise and wear them proud with superstars like the OTC Roman Reigns, Rhea Ripley, the Second City Saint CM Punk, John Cena, Main Event Jey Uso, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, and so many more. Oh, by the way, they got some really cool championship belts in there as well. So go to wrestling.thedlewpodcast.com. Again, that's wrestling.thedlewpodcast.com so you can go to WWE Shop with Fanatics. Welcome to another edition of the D-Lew podcast powered by Believe Network. I'm your host, Derrick T. Lewis, and I want to apologize for no shows last week. But as I said in the previous show, my last show rather, that I had some stuff that was going on, good stuff, and that actually got resolved last Friday, actually. So soon, very, very soon, you guys will know what I'm talking about when you see some things on my social media that's going to be happening really soon. I promise you that. But nonetheless, I do appreciate, for those that did tune in to the last show with me and Gabby, we talked about a few things, regarding the recent PLE that we just saw. So a lot of fun. She's off this week, so we're going to talk about the upcoming Saturday night's main event tomorrow night on Peacock, not on NBC, but on Peacock. But before I get into that, I want to remind you all once again, if you haven't done so already, to subscribe, okay? Subscribe on all platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pandora, and even on YouTube. You can get the video version of the show on YouTube. So if you haven't done so, go to YouTube, look up Derrick T. Lewis, the real DT Lew. And you can also look up the D-Lew podcast, hit subscribe. And when you hit subscribe on the bell, make sure you hit all so you get all notifications when there is new content on my YouTube channel. Also, from a merchandise, if you go to my wrestling themed merchandise on Pro Wrestling Tees, you can go to pwt.derricktlewis.com, and you can also go to the Derrick T. Lewis official merchandise page, where you can get all of the Nike merch that I have on you. So hats, pullover fleece hoodies, dry fit tees, tote bags, duffel bags, and coffee mugs over at shop.derricktlewis.com. But as I stated, we're going to talk about in preview this weekend's Saturday night's main event that's going to emanate from the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, Utah, home of the Utah Jazz. And they're going to have 4 matches, of course, on this card, and all title matches. All title matches. So I'm going to get right to it. There's a triple threat match that's going to be taking place for the Intercontinental Championship between Dominic Mysterio, Penta, and Rusev. Now, the last couple of weeks, I've been noticing on Monday Night Raw that Dominic Mysterio, when he's lying, cheating, and stealing, just like his on-screen daddy from 2005, Eddie, the late great Eddie Guerrero. Rest in peace. I still miss Eddie Guerrero. My God, when he pulled these type of things, it kind of pulls at the heartstrings of the fans because it is reminiscent of the stuff that Eddie used to do in the ring. Lying, cheating, and stealing, getting away with things. And the more that Dominic Mysterio was doing it, the fans are cheering him now. And it makes me wonder, is Dominic Mysterio even going to need the Judgment Day anymore because he's over on his own? Like I saw something recently on Instagram. I don't know if it's when they went to commercial break on Raw fairly recently, but when Dominic was trying to test the temperature of the crowd, and usually, they would drown out Dominic Mysterio with boos. Not so much these days. I mean, they've been really cheering this guy. So I don't know, where this is going to lead. I know the last couple times on Raw, he has defeated Rusev, and I know he's pinned Penta before. So to me, I think to protect Dominic, I think we're going to have a new Intercontinental Champion, and that man is going to be Penta. I feel like Penta has the star power. He has the charisma of a WWE superstar, and I think he'll be a good fit, to be the Intercontinental Champion. Meanwhile, it's not going to hurt Dominic Mysterio in any way because, especially if Dominic doesn't get pinned. Now, keep in mind, he is also the AAA Mega Champion, so I'm pretty sure they're going to have him doing some things down in Mexico, to increase that brand. And it wouldn't shock me, honestly, at this coming WrestleMania in Vegas next year, that we may get some AAA matches on the card. Again, I could be totally wrong, but I think it would ultimately make sense to do that. It just really surprises me that there's no NXT matches on WrestleMania. I know they have Stand and Deliver every year, before WrestleMania, but I feel that having an NXT championship match on WrestleMania, I think could be a good thing. We'll see. But I would love to see WrestleMania having AAA match, or maybe one or two AAA matches and an NXT match. I don't know. But getting back to this triple threat match, I think now with Penta being a true babyface and Rusev being a heel, now you can have Rusev chasing the Intercontinental Championship. Because to me, although Dominic is technically a heel and Rusev is a heel, I just think the dynamic just felt off to me. That's just again my opinion about it. But I think Penta's going to walk out of Salt Lake City as the new Intercontinental Champion. Up next, we have the WWE Women's Championship, where the champion Tiffany Stratton is taking on Jade Cargill. Now, we saw this match at SummerSlam, and I was very, very surprised on how quick the match was, and I thought that Jade was going to walk out with the title, honestly. But with this recent turn of events of Jade turning heel, and I think a lot of fans were clamoring for Jade to finally embrace this side of her that we saw in AEW when she was booked as an absolute monster. And I think now that she's gotten the seasoning under her belt, she's been in WWE, what, 2 years now? So now that she's worked with, the Bianca Belairs and the Naomis of the world that really got her up to speed to the WWE style and all those other things that they talk, that a lot of folks talk about with the WWE style. I think now is the time to let the leash off and just let her cook. And I feel that we're going to have a new WWE Women's Champion, and that's going to be Jade Cargill. Now, keep in mind, being that there are, mid card belts and things of that nature, the Women's United States title or the Women's Intercontinental title, maybe that's something that Tiffany could possibly chase, or Tiffany can get some return matches against Jade Cargill, maybe at Survivor Series, maybe at Royal Rumble, who knows? But I think now having Jade as the champion will be good because I feel that Jade versus Rhea at WrestleMania can be money. Jade versus Bianca at WrestleMania could be money. It's a lot of possibilities with this as Jade being a heel and especially being a heel champion. So I hope I hope I'm right, but then again, WWE has been very, very good within the last couple of years, especially in the Triple H regime, very, very good of just pulling swerves because the fans, we're going to expect one thing, but then they're going to say, hey, who the hell are you? No, you don't dictate to us. we tell you what to watch. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. We have the next match for the undisputed WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes defending against Drew McIntyre. Now, I said before when Cody had won the title back from John Cena, and what was somebody I think it was my nephew that asked me is who is the guy that should challenge Cody Rhodes for the Intercontinental Championship, and I flat out said it should be Drew McIntyre. and and I said they should get some mileage out of this feud. And we're talking about August now. Now, obviously, Cody had to go away for about a couple of weeks to film Street Fighter. Scenes are all done now. He's back. Um, I say that Drew McIntyre should win the championship. This will not hurt Cody Rhodes or lower his stock in any way, shape, or form. It will not, because there's so much that he has built up, so much equity that Cody has with the fans. Fans are still going to buy his merchandise. Fans are going to still sing his song no matter where he goes. So this can ultimately help Cody. And again, just like I said with Tiffany dropping the title potentially to Jay Cargill, I think with Cody maybe dropping the title to Drew McIntyre, now he's in the chase. He's in the pursuit of the championship. And maybe, just maybe Cody can win it back at the Royal Rumble and now have that march towards WrestleMania. So we'll see. We'll see about that. But I think putting the title right now on Drew McIntyre could be good. And he doesn't have to win it cleanly. He can have some underhanded things happen, maybe hit him with a weapon or have his foot on the rope, grab the tights, whatever the case may be. I think that could be a good thing and solidify him as the heel champion, because heels do really, really bad things. So we'll put the title bow on that match. And of course, which I feel is going to be the main event, it's going to be the a singles match for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship between former World Heavyweight Champions CM Punk, although he held it for 5 minutes, and of course main event Jey Uso. Now I didn't get a chance to talk about this, being that I was off. I didn't do a show, but obviously Seth Rollins getting hurt put a monkey wrench in a lot of things and a lot of the plans, I'm sure. So they had to pivot because remember, Punk was it when they were in Australia, Punk pinned Jey Uso to become the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. And of course, Seth Rollins is hurt with a hurt. I believe he hurt himself in that match against Cody, and he's going to be out for an undisclosed amount of time. I mean, he had surgery, and he's wearing he's in a sling. It's crazy, and it sucks because this can potentially be another WrestleMania that Seth Rollins is going to miss. Because I mean, I don't know what the plans were in regards to Seth Rollins in that WrestleMania, but I would imagine that him, being the champion and all that stuff, I'm sure he probably would have ended up dropping the title at WrestleMania. But we'll see. But the crazy thing is that again, I didn't get a chance to talk about was obviously Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman turning on Seth Rollins, and I think to write him off TV, which was smart. They had no other choice but to do it, and they said that this turn was probably going to happen months down the road, which I felt would have been after WrestleMania, maybe when Seth Rollins lost the title, or to whoever that may have been. Could have been CM Punk possibly, but nonetheless, you know, now we have somebody lurking and and for the opportunity to be champion. Now there are people on social media that were saying that maybe it should have been Braun Breaker that should have had this opportunity to be in this championship match. And my thing is, why so soon? Braun Breaker is what, 27 years old, 20. That kid is young in the business. He's only been in the business less than 4 years. Like, and I'm not hating on him at all, but there is going to be plenty of time for Braun Breaker to get those opportunities. And when he does, Braun Breaker will be the man. He will be the man in WWE. Whether he's a face or whether he's a heel, it doesn't matter. That kid, his pedigree, that championship pedigree, that pro wrestling pedigree that he comes from with his dad and his uncle, and the ground that they paved, for him. And there and oh man, and having grown up watching his dad and his uncle both as a single and as a tag team, you expect nothing but greatness from him. But right now, it's too soon. Now, maybe after WrestleMania, he'll win the championship. I don't know, but we'll see. But getting back to the match itself, now they could go a million ways with this match. I'm believe it or not, this is going to be a pick 'em. I could see it going one of two ways. Either CM Punk does in fact win the championship, and he's the guy on Raw, World Heavyweight Champion, or, and this will be crazy, if Jey Uso gets the help from Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed to beat CM Punk for the championship and joins the division under Paul Heyman. I can see either scenario happening. And I'm fine, and it's fine with me because at the end of the day, Punk is Teflon. Whether Punk loses, whether Punk wins, it doesn't matter. Punk is going to be over no matter what it is. He's always going to have people buying his merchandise. The fans aren't going to stop doing that. If anything else, the fans are going to be pissed and is going to tune in that following Monday on Raw and get the answers of why did Jey Uso potentially joined up with the Vision. So we'll see. And maybe, just maybe this can lead to Jay versus Roman at WrestleMania. I don't know, but the possibilities are absolutely endless. And on the note of Seth Rollins, I do wish him all the best and heal up and get back soon because he's been missed already. And if you could talk about the last 10 years in the WWE of who has been the ultimate team player, who's been the MVP, in my opinion, is Seth Rollins, hands down. And he is the ultimate professional, and he's done everything, truly everything there could be done, in the WWE. So, hopefully, he does come back. He'll be, the crowd's gonna pop for him, and he'll probably end up chasing Braun Breaker. You know what I mean? And hopefully, maybe Braun Breaker might be champion by the time he comes back, and maybe Seth starts chasing him because he never lost the title. So we shall see. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about not to move far ahead, but obviously in December's Saturday night's main event, December 13th, that magical date, that is going to be John Cena's final match. Because as of right now, as I'm recording this on a Thursday night, John Cena only has four more appearances left. He has Boston for Raw, New York City for Raw, Survivor Series, and December 13th, Saturday night's main event, and that's it. So it's gonna be really, really tough because man, like it's something you thought you ever see. Cena, because when we see our the wrestlers and they're always around, they always come back for another match or another run or another 6 month run or whatever, or some of them stay part time. But John wants to go out on his own terms, and it's gonna be really, really tough. I mean, I'm probably not gonna. It's not gonna be a dry eye in the house. But also, speaking of the arena, man, those ticket prices are insane. I got to talk about this because I was listening to Busted Open Radio a couple of weeks ago when I was driving up to Frenchtown for the Monster Factory event, and somebody was talking. It was on Jonathan Coachman's show, and he was just talking about how and I mentioned it on this show as well, just how outrageous the prices are. Reasons I kind of understand, but again, I'm not really in the know because I don't work at the WWE. But the fact that to price out the real hardcore fans is just it's unfortunate because you want your hardcore fan, especially for a show like this. John Cena's last match. You figure, think about this for a second. John Cena made his debut on the main roster in 2002. That was 23 years ago. Now think about it. If you had a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old that was watching that match against him and Kurt Angle, they see him go into the Thugonomics thing, then they see him do the Marine thing, then they saw him just becoming the face of the company. Of course, here in the Let's Go Cena, Cena sucks. Think about it. That was 23 years ago. If that kid was 7, He's 30 now. He or she is 30 now. So their whole entire childhood, teenage years, early adult years are because of they've watched John Cena. I guarantee you, they probably have kids now watching their kids watching John Cena. So there's generations of fans that watch John wrestle. I, for one, was at the first WrestleMania that he wrestled at and won the United States Heavyweight Championship against the Big Show. I was there for that. My God, I mean, let's go down the list. I've seen him wrestle so many times at Madison Square Garden. I seen him return at Madison Square Garden at the Royal Rumble in 2008. I saw him tag up with The Rock at Madison Square Garden at Survivor Series 2011. Jeez, man, there's been so many moments that I've seen, for John, and I'm sure in December I'm gonna do a John Cena um, career retrospective, on this show and talk about moments, matches. I may do something where I may do like the top 10, my top 10 John Cena matches of his career. That's something I might do. And that's probably before I do the year end awards and stuff because I want to do that separately. I don't want to do that in conjunction with another show, but I do want to have a John Cena kind of tribute show and then break down moments and matches in which involved, truly one of the greatest of all time. If there's a WWE superstar that I could compare John Cena to, it would be Bruno Sammartino, because to me, the longevity of how long John Cena stayed on top as the top guy, as the face of the company, is unparalleled. And of course, if you look in the history books, Bruno Sammartino was the man in the WWE, the longest reigning WWE champion in history. Says a lot. Well, like I said, I'm going to cut it short this week. I just wanted to go over these four matches. But as I said it in the beginning of the show, don't forget to subscribe, to all platforms. Make sure you hit up my store at pwt dot derricklewis.com over at Pro Wrestling Tees. Hit up my store, my Derrick T. Lewis merchandise, official merchandise store. We can get, like I said, the Nike merch is on there. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit up all social media platforms. So if you want to hit up the D-Lew podcast, it's at the D-Lew podcast on all platforms. Of course, you can follow me on all platforms at the real DT Lew, with the exception of Facebook, which is Derrick T. Lewis official page. And of course, you can follow my media company at Lew Siete Media. Well, I'm going to get out of here, guys. And as I always say, no matter what it is you do in life, always remember to make it count. See you next time.